Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one lined up for you today. Things are really kicking off, and the winds are in this digital asset sales, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to policy, legislation, and regulation. Who's going to be the next U.S. digital dollar? Ripple, Circle, Tether, PayPal? Oh, you heard that right. We got breaking news. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, it is $2.66 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off by 1.6, 67,100 plus for Bitcoin, 3,700 plus for Ethereum, and $111 billion plus market cap for USD Tether at the moment. XRP is 52 cents. It's off by 0.7 in the 24 and off by 2.1 on the 7-day. Range of price very quickly. We have so much to go over here. 53 cents, ranging between 52 and 53 cents, almost 54 cents. We'll keep an eye on as we move forward. I want to start right here. This is SEC Gov. I just want to remind everybody that the formally sanctioned by a federal judge, the SEC has been formally sanctioned by a federal judge for lying in court in the debt box case. Despicable. They're fined $1.8 million, and they're going to use our tax dollars to pay the fine. That's a pimp move. Something need to change about all of that. Well, change is happening here. FTX. Here's the update in the news of the latest here. Ryan Salami here. Virtually everyone that is going to prison for crypto fraud was a defender of Tether fraud, says Bitfinex. Also, fun fact, he says, FTX was secretly bailing out Deltec Bank and stealing customer funds to send it to Tether. FTX was a feeder fund to the Tether fraud. And the former FTX executive, Ryan Salami, is sentenced to 90 months in prison. 7.5 years. This from Flare here, real-world assets on Flare Networks. Clearpool Fin launches T-Pools for USDX, the first stablecoin on Flare backed by 1 to 3 month U.S. Treasury bills. That is what we like to see. I say everything just keeps getting closer to where we are going. Now, just give us the regulatory legislative clarity, and the opportunities to earn with your digital assets will be endless. Yes. Ripples in Wales, shout out to you, man. Says, soon, Mr. Kimes. Flare Orgasm here says, Hugo should run Ripple. They need to clean house. Ripple going to end up like Yahoo, laugh out loud. Look, this is a little embarrassing. Let's understand this, James Blight. Did Hugo get legal clarity for Flare like Brad Garlinghouse did for XRP? Yeah, I didn't think so. See, this is the kind of bull stuff nonsense that needs to pipe down. You don't have legal clarity. And the fact is, I'm excited for Flare and its potential impact, no doubt about it. However, if you think Flare won't have to run the legal gauntlet like Ripple and other projects, well, then the joke is on you. Stay safe out here. I'm still excited for Flare, but nervous about its legal standing. DeFi is the biggest threat to banks, and they will fight their biggest fight against it. And they will lose ultimately, I believe. And we will see things like Flare eventually get legal clarity. And I hope, this would be the greatest thing to happen, is to get the legal clarity we need through FIT 21 and some extension or addition to the bill that I don't already know about now. Something added in that would take care of DeFi and not make it a issue that's pushed off till 2026 or 2028, right? Because I will do everything in my power to help Flare win, unless we got to keep fighting through these kind of headwinds of this kind of nonsense. James Blight, this is nonsense. You need to pipe this down. And the reason I say that is because you're going to need help soon enough. And I'm doing what I can to help the entire crypto industry, not just XRP. But it makes me not want to when I see ridiculous remarks like this, knowing full well that Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson were personally targeted by the SEC, and they could have settled and got their ass out of the fire, but they chose to stay in it for the entire crypto space. So you should think twice about how you want to win this for Flare. And if this is even more evidence of why we have to come together and stop this nonsense of taking shots at the very companies and people that are out here trying to protect the entire industry. Because you can't put anything past the SEC. Take a listen to this.
This is not an SEC that will give an inch without taking a mile.
There you
and
go.
We know that.
There you go.
So we got, ETH ETFs. We're step one. I mean, to be clear, like we're step one, then we have the next steps, right? So we have these steps towards that process. But that doesn't preclude the SEC from coming around and doing something else. But certainly this particular agency and the way that they have tended to do things. I will say that we have heard, I don't know if these are how substantiated these are, but it's made its way to me, so I'd assume pretty substantiated. There are rumors of pending enforcement action of one that is coming. I have no idea against who. I do not know anything other than that. And again, these are rumors. I tend to take them with a grain of salt. That being said, it would not surprise me if while you're holding the trophy, you get the right hook.
There you have it. And that's why we need to work together and stop taking shots at the people who are trying to get clarity in this space. What the hell sense does that make? What sense does that make? Goodness gracious. Do something positive like we're trying to do. Gracious sakes. It's not hard, right? I mean, not to mention that, who's that enforcement action that's coming down the line? Who's that going to be for? Is it something else coming at Ethereum? Or is that going to be Tether next? Here's Pompliano on Fox talking to Charles Payne. Take a listen to this.
All right, move over, Bitcoin. Here comes Ethereum. That's right. In the past month, Ethereum has rallied more than 17% versus 6.5% for Bitcoin. The question, though, is what's driving it and where does it go from here? Had to bring in Pomp Investments investor Anthony Pompliano. And Pomp, what the heck is going on now? By the way, I did read, I think it was last week, you had a headline. It sounded a little ominous about these Ethereum ETFs. Are you a fan or not?
Well, I think that Wall Street's just woken up to the fact that they can make money in this sector now, right? If you look back 3, 4, 5 years ago, they were all saying, we don't like Bitcoin, we don't like crypto. Right. Now they realize there's profits here. And so they're going to continue to push not only to get the Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs, but they're going to try to go through this full stack. And the question is, what will regulators allow? How many are they going to approve? How many coins are going to be on Wall Street by the end of this year?
Yeah, I mean, so it sounds like you don't want too many. You don't want some of the lower end coins. Well,
just think Bitcoin, I think, is this unique thing that has a very clean story, right? It's a store of value. When you get into these other things, they're technology platforms. So now you start talking about what's the difference between Facebook, Amazon, Google, et cetera. They're all competing for different kind of aspects of the consumer. And so I think when you look at Ethereum, Solana, and many others, they're tech platforms competing with each other. And so the story just isn't as clean as Bitcoin exclusively.
Something else has changed here in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Former President Trump has really been like, hey, I'm down. I like Bitcoin. And I feel like a lot of Democrats, not necessarily the president himself, but a lot of Democrats are starting to change their tune a little bit, maybe fearful of losing that young vote.
There's 50 plus million Americans that hold these assets. And so if you're going to basically concede the fact that the Republican Party is going to be pro-crypto and you're going to take an anti-crypto stance, you can kiss those 50 million votes goodbye, most likely. People for centuries have been voting with their pocket. Who is best for what I can do financially? And crypto is just the latest manifestation of that. And so I think that Trump really changed the game. He forced the hand of politicians on both sides of the aisle. If you don't embrace this, you are now setting yourself up to be in the crosshairs of these crypto voters. And I think that people finally realize not only are they passionate, it's a large group, and they're willing to go out to the ballot box, and that's going to change how politicians treat this asset class.
Got less than 30 seconds ago. Speaking of adoption, another company is making this their key treasury asset.
Look, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy pioneered this. There's now, 5 different companies around the world that I'm aware of. I always say that 1 does it, it's a dot. 2, it's a line. 3, it's a trend. And so I think that we're going to see many, many more do this over the coming years.
I got to tell you, Saylor, I mean, you have to tip your hat to him.
He did a fantastic job.
Do. He's done a fantastic job. He put his money where his mouth is, really, and it's worked out so far pretty good for him.
Made a couple $1 billion.
Couple.
There you have it. So that's what's going on right now. Now take a listen to this. Take a listen to this quick clip here about Bitcoin. Hey, Bitcoin for payments. This is what he says.
Bitcoin is going to be the neutral settlement network and asset for the world. And we believe that it's the only asset that can be that because it's neutral enough in the eyes of everyone to serve as this way to interoperate domestic real-time payment systems. So, now we're going to have more adoption of FedNow in the US. In Brazil, there's Pix. In Mexico, there's Pay. In India, there's UPI. In Europe, there's SEPA. All of these systems are different, have different account formats, use different currencies, and we believe that Bitcoin can actually serve as the 24/7 always-on grid that connects all of these payment networks. And so once you believe that, you need to make Bitcoin really efficient and fast, and that's where Lightning comes in. And so what we do is we use Lightning. We made it enterprise grade and really easy to use. So we've basically abstracted the need for companies to operate the Lightning node with all of the intricacies of opening and closing channels, rebalancing and deploying liquidity, finding the best routes to route payments, split payments and multi-part payments to actually reassemble them on the other side of the network, all kinds of things that are very foreign to companies. So we're automating all of that. And enable them to have their own nodes running our software and have the keys, have the control, and we take care of the complexity for them. Bitcoin.
And there you have it. Now, that's David Marcus, who used to be head of Libra for Facebook. And I say sounds great, but the last time I moved an entire Bitcoin, I was charged over $4,000, $4,200, I believe it was to be exact, and took close to an hour to do so. Did you fix that part? Oh, and by the way, who do we call for a network issue? You or Ghostbusters? I'm down with all of this layer 2 business for Bitcoin so you can move the money around, but you're going to need to fix those parts, right? Then we can talk. XRP Ledger triggers 350% surge amid impressive payment growth. Look at this payment growth. 350% payment growth. That's getting it done. Then here, just very quickly, just a piece of this.
At the average cost for a mid-tier bank of producing one cross-border payment is around $25 to $30.
$25 to $30. He goes on to talk about the friction and the pain of payments and cross-border payments for banks. We all know what's coming. You can't do this you can't really use this new system until you get these digital dollars, stable coins, CBDCs really in a place where you can use them. Vet makes a great comment here. Sometimes I get asked, what if this whole crypto thing doesn't work out? Even if crypto fails, the payment and finance world will change no matter what. The current systems aren't up to date anymore and will be replaced. That's a given. Blockchain as a whole and the XRP Ledger are positioned to offer itself as a solution to the looming problems. Place your bets. Yeah, Brad Garlinghouse liked that one. How about that? Yeah, so did I. Put a retweet on that. The UK government has recognized stablecoins pave the way for faster and cheaper payments. Stablecoins' potential in a vital role in retail cross-border payments, including settlements. Ripple uses XRP as a bridge currency to move money. Big differentiator they have in the market is that they're doing 3 seconds or less and then 3 days to move international payments in crypto ecosystem. Let me just give you the clip here.
And the UK government has recognized that stablecoins pave the way for faster and cheaper payments, and that the use of stablecoins has been on the rise for some time. The UK government reported that in June 2020, the value of transactions in stablecoins exceeded Bitcoin for the first time, and we're seeing continued growth of stablecoin use. So certainly from the UK perspective, I think it's also true from the European bodies and certain other regulators and governments, is that if there can be appropriate standards of regulation imposed, then stablecoins do have the potential to play a really vital role in retail and cross-border payments, including settlement, and to deliver things of speed and efficiency and resilience. I think you already see that in the market with the likes of, private crypto asset companies, digital companies like Ripple using XRP as a bridge currency to move money. And the big differentiator they have in the market is that they're doing it in 3 seconds rather than 3 days to move international payments. So asset companies, digital companies like Ripple using XRP as a bridge currency to move money. And the big differentiator they have in the market is that they're doing it in 3 seconds rather than 3 days to move international payments. So I think asset companies, digital companies like Ripple using XRP as a bridge currency to move money. And the big differentiator they have in the market is that they're doing it in 3 seconds rather than 3 days to move international payments. So I think you're seeing a lot more. I also think that you see in the crypto ecosystem, stablecoins being effectively the cornerstone of liquidity. If you deal with crypto asset firms, that is, you know. And
look, what I see taking shape here is mBridge, right? Is that whole mBridge vibe, where the native tokens on the ledger are in fact stable coins and CBDCs. Hell, for that matter, and other tokenized stable coins, commodity stable coins, derivative stable coins. Those are the native products on the ledger. And then you use XRP as a bridge asset to settle these things where applicable for the best result and the best efficiency. This is amazing. Look, and this stablecoin conversation is talking about XRP as a bridge asset, and we know they're getting ready to launch their own stablecoin for the US dollar on the XRP Ledger and Ethereum. This is getting better all the time. The great stablecoin race is underway, ladies and gentlemen. Circle has launched in Brazil to catalyze digital dollar access there. We know they also recently just moved their legal base back to the United States to be domiciled in the States. Now leaving Tether as, I think, the only outside the U.S. stablecoin company. Watch out. We know that we got the ticker symbol for a Ripple stablecoin, which is RLUSD. The Digital Euro Association has confirmed the ticker symbol, and that is remarkable. The great stablecoin race. PayPal announces their PYUSD stablecoin officially launching on Solana. So think about that one. You'll want to know that piece of information. Now let's listen to CBDCs versus stablecoin from Representative French Hill, who knows an awful lot about it.
As we look at the future of the internet, Web3, and blockchain, he also said that he was not supportive of a U.S. central bank digital currency, which I think is a good position. I prefer the private sector leading in payments, and that's why we're still working on a payment stablecoin bill that will let the private sector here lead in that manner on a dollar-backed payment stablecoin.
And there you have it. We'll let the private sector lead on that. Come on in. Yeah. Hello. And I believe we'll see Bank of America stablecoin, PNC stablecoin. We could see all that happen. Yeah, you watch. U.S. will become a crypto world leader. Take a listen here as President Trump pledges to back
announced you're taking
cryptocurrency as a field.
You announced you're taking cryptocurrency.
What we're doing is we're backing it as a field, and we have to, because otherwise somebody else is going to be doing it from another country. And as you know, they're already trying, and it's going to happen, and we're going to help it happen, and it's something that can be very good. I think.
There you have it. It's all coming, ladies and gentlemen. And the U.S. isn't the only ones preparing for it, or the U.K. The IMF is looking for a public settlement asset across borders. This is exactly what we heard them talking about in that clip that I just played you about XRP working and serving as a bridge asset for the stablecoin conversation, which makes a lot of sense.
I think the role of the public sector is not just rules and regulations. In fact, it's also about building public goods, building infrastructure. There is no public settlement asset across borders, and thus the pain points that you all know well in cross-border payments. And the question, I think, a really interesting question now is, can we build a public good for cross-border payments?
We already have. It's called the XRP Ledger, and it has a decentralized exchange that comes with it.
Can we think about a settlement platform that might escrow central bank reserves in order to transfer them from one bank or participant to another, and thus do settlement?
Yeah, the XRP Ledger, ladies and gentlemen. That's what. We'll see how it shakes out. Ripple invest undisclosed sum in Web3 messaging platform. This is exciting too. This is over in Hong Kong, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this. It's Beeble. And Ripple has invested in Beeble, a Hong Kong-based Web3 wallet-to-wallet messaging and social app. So this is like Hong Kong's WeChat version is what it sounds like here. And they've invested heavily in here. And the Beeble official team is now officially backed by Ripple. With the new funding from Ripple, Beeble will seek ways to debut on the XRP Ledger Foundation. We want to show great appreciation to Ripple X developer for supporting our journey. And you know what? They probably in part followed that code of conduct to go with it to make sure that they were a viable candidate. How about that? Yeah, people doing adulting. It's very positive. Look at the results. Look at this. I know I'd like to see the results from this. Eggrag Crypto says XRP alert, the lowest RSI in the history of XRP. Whoa, wait a minute here. Man, because I know, look, here it is. We're dipping down the lowest relative strength index in the XRP's history. Well, I tell you what, when she touched down here, damn if we didn't go to all-time highs. So what might that mean? What might that mean? I don't know. But I tell you what, I'm super excited to find out. I'm glad we're all on the journey to do so together. Look, that's going to do it for me. You can support the channel at digperspectives.com. Click on the Freedom Zone and come on in for next to nothing. It's a great way to support the channel, and we're certainly grateful for every one of you to do so. You get all the daily videos with 0 Google ads on them and a private full access to a Telegram group, and as well as great conversation and some extra content too. So we'll see you inside. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.